This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. So at what point, I ask you, is magical MAGA world going to join the rest of us in knowing, understanding, believing, saying with your mouth that Donald Trump is a disaster? The Donald Trump administration is a disaster unlike any this country has suffered through. Bob Woodward, legendary journalist, just is writing a book, just published a book, where it's publishing in the coming days. And he sat down with Donald Trump and had some interviews. He's written a previous book and had access to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump admitted with his flapping lips what we've all suspected he's known the entire time about the coronavirus. When I say disaster, I'm mainly talking about the ferocity with which they lie with a straight face. That Kayleigh McEnany gets up at the podium in the White House press briefing room, in the White House, looks in reporters' eyes to their faces and says, "I will never lie to you."
Will you pledge never to lie to us from that podium?
I will never lie to you. You have my word on that.
Now again, this is one of those moments that of course we know that not to be true. But it should nonetheless not diminish our outrage, even though we already knew it. And I'm going to follow that clip with this little mashup before we get to the clips of Donald Trump giving up the game. That same woman who said she'd never lie to the press, take a look at this.
The president never downplayed the virus. Once again,
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
the president never downplayed the virus. Once again,
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Donald Trump never downplayed the virus. And then, of course, look, I really wanted to downplay it. I always want to downplay it. One of two things is happening here. Either this administration thinks that the entirety of the United States is filled with boot-licking sycophants, or he thinks, knows, believes that MAGA morons are just that they will fall for anything, that they are gullible enough to believe hook, line, and sinker any trash that he sends their way. Donald Trump is a clear and present danger to the United States of America. 190,000 Americans are now dead because of his inaction. And now we know they are dead not only because of his inaction, but his inaction in the face of actual knowledge about this disease, about this virus, about this pandemic. Let's go to a clip from February 7th, talking to Bob Woodward.
And so what was President Xi saying yesterday?
Well, we were talking mostly about the virus, and I think he's going to have it in good shape, but, it's a very tricky situation.
Indeed
it goes through air, Bob. That's always tougher than the touch. The touch, you don't have to touch things, right? But the air, you just breathe the air, and that's how it's passed. And so that's a very tricky one. That's a very delicate one. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. People don't realize we lose 25,000, 30,000 people a year here. Who would ever think that, right?
I know. It's
pretty amazing. And then I say, well, is that the same thing? This is more deadly. This is 5 per... this is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%. So this is deadly stuff.
So he says, with the sewer under his nose, that he knows it's more deadly than even a strenuous flu. that this is like 5% fatality rate versus 1% or even less than 1% with the common flu. He knows it. He says it. February 7th. And then later, well, look, March 9th, he tweeted this. So last year, 37,000 Americans died from the common flu. It averages between 27,000 and 70,000 per year. Nothing is shut down. Life and the economy go on. At this moment, there are 546 confirmed cases of coronavirus with 22 deaths. Think about that. So he's playing the game. He knows it's more deadly. Over a month before, he told Bob Woodward, it's more deadly. Very dangerous. We're dealing with something very serious here. And then he takes to the podium at the White House and lies to the American people. Lies to his own supporters, who then don't take it seriously. Lies to Fox News hosts, who don't take it seriously. Who resist the request to wear a mask to keep others around them safe. Donald Trump has endangered lives. Donald Trump has killed because of his negligence, because of malice of forethought. He is responsible for this. No one else. Donald Trump. The next is March 18th with Bob Woodward.
Now it's turning out it's not just old people, Bob. Just today and yesterday, some startling facts came out. It's not just older
exactly.
young people, to plenty of young people.
So
what's going on
give me a moment of talking to somebody, going through this with Fauci or somebody who kind of, it caused a pivot in your mind, because it's clear just from what's on the public record that you went through a pivot on this to, oh my God, the gravity is almost inexplicable and unexplainable.
Well, I think, Bob, really, to be honest with you,
sure, I want you to.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes,
because I don't want to create a panic.
Remember recently, all of the talk about kids can't even get it. They're immune from the virus. Kids can't even transmit it. Send them all back to school. He's saying that now. In August, he said that. And in March 18th, he knew the truth. March 18th. It's not just old people, Bob. Plenty of young people. And then I wanted to always play it down. This is sociopathic behavior. No regard for the suffering of Americans. And not just the people who died, but their families who are left, the survivors. And look, before I get into the next clip of what he did today, with his nonsense trying to hijack the news cycle with his Supreme Court list, what's up with Bob Woodward? Sitting on this for this long. Sitting on this information for months while Americans died. Tens of thousands of Americans died while Bob Woodward had this information. Held on to it so he could write his book. We deserve answers, Bob Woodward. America has provided you, sir, with a very cushy life. With success beyond your wildest dreams. America provided that to you. And this is how you repay us. We're owed an explanation. So, as I was saying, Donald Trump tried his attempt to hijack the news cycle with a list of prospective Supreme Court nominations, including Tom Cotton, Stretch Armstrong neck in human form, and Ted Cruz, obsequious, servile mutt, bootlicker Ted Cruz. So, also, before we get to the clip, because I'm not going to play the clip of him naming the names, because it's just him naming names. Donald Trump is naming Ted Cruz as a potential Supreme Court justice. Ted Cruz, the same man who Donald Trump said Ted Cruz's father had something to do with murdering a president, assassinating John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Yeah, that's about right. Sounds about right for Donald Trump. Anyway, here's the clip when he's asked about lying to the American people, and I want to talk about it.
You address the concerns from the Woodward book in regards to whether did you mislead the public by saying that you downplayed the coronavirus and that you repeatedly did that in order to reduce panic. Did you mislead the public?
Well, I think if you said in order to reduce panic, perhaps that's so. The fact is I'm a cheerleader for this country. I love our country. And I don't want people to be frightened. I don't want to create panic, as you say. And certainly I'm not going to drive this country or the world into a frenzy. We want to show confidence. We want to show strength. We want to show strength as a nation. And that's what I've done, and we've done very well.
Hey, Donald Trump, we didn't elect a cheerleader, dipshit. We didn't elect you to have pom-poms in your hands, loving your country, not wanting to cause people to be frightened. You have a responsibility to shoot us straight. You have a responsibility to give everybody the real deal so they act accordingly. Because you are their dear leader. I'm talking about MAGA country now. And had you shot them straight, had you been upfront about this, tens of thousands of Americans would still be alive. But you did not. You lied. You downplayed when you had the knowledge. This, as far as I'm concerned, is at the very least manslaughter. But because you're president, you're immune from prosecution while president. This isn't about panicking or frightening people. This is about preparing a nation for an unprecedented moment in this century. And you blew it. And people died because of it. And you will face a reckoning. November 3rd. Everybody, please talk to a neighbor, talk to a family member, talk to a friend. Convince someone who didn't vote in 2016 and may not plan to vote this time to vote. We need an overwhelming response at the polls. Because there's all kinds of other stuff that I'm not even going to get to today, maybe later in another video, about the Homeland Security Director and his lapdog, Ken Cuccinelli, fabricating intelligence, downplaying the threat of white supremacists, and Russia's involvement in interfering in our elections. Anyway, frustrated, yeah. Very frustrated that almost 200,000 of our countrymen and women are dead because of Donald Trump and his lies. But I'd love to know what you think. 714-576-4054. Of course, email me daily@dollemore.com. I would love for you to consider becoming a channel member. Click the join button. For fewer than $2 a month, you can help support my work, help support my outrage here on YouTube. I would appreciate you just considering it. Connect with me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and all the social media. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Keep your head down. It's a long 60 days or so until election. It's going to be a long time. the longest 60 days of our lives. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.